In 1946, a man named Viktor Frankl published a book called Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor Frankl was an Auschwitz survivor and a psychologist. And what he did is he would study the mindset of the prisoners in concentration camps. And one of the things that he noticed I thought was pretty relevant to what we're going through right now in 2020. And that is that these prisoners would go around and they would say, you know what, I think the Allies are going to come liberate us on April 1st. I think the Allies are going to come liberate us on April 15th. The Allies are going to come liberate us on May 1st, May 15th, June 1st, etc. You get it, right? And what would happen is that the Allies would not come and liberate them. And so then here's the crazy thing that happened next, is the day after the Allies did not come, the prisoner would die of pneumonia or tuberculosis. And what he realized is something that's pretty profound, and that is when the soul dies, the body dies after. See, I think we're going through a similar time right now. See, what I'm hearing from a lot of people is, hey, when are we going to get liberated? When are things going to go back to normal, the way they were before? Is it April 15th? Is it May 1st? Is it June 15th? When is it going to go back to normal? The economy going to change? So here's a better question for you to ask. And that is not when are things going to go back to normal, but what if it never goes back to normal? See, because then it opens up even a third question, a higher consciousness question, and that is, what new opportunities are arising because of this? Let me give you an example. I mean, think of the original horse and buggy people. Like the people were building had these horse and buggies, and all of a sudden the car company comes around. Ford comes around with the Model T. Do you think the horse and buggy people probably sat around and said, hey, when are people going to realize this car thing is too expensive and it breaks down and they're going to go back to an old-fashioned horse that we can rely on? See, what if they change their mindset to, what if it never goes back to normal? What if this car thing actually takes hold? Well, then they can ask the third question, which is, well, what new opportunities are arising because of this? And then all of a sudden they can look around and go, wait a minute, we've got all this experience in building buggy seats, so why don't we go to Henry and say, hey, Henry, I can do the seats for your cars. Or how about later on, and the Blockbuster's Netflix whole story? Don't you think a bunch of executives were probably wondering, hey, when are people going to realize that they don't want this, just-in-time movie just to be able to show up in their house whenever they want? When are people going to realize that what they really want is to drive across town in traffic and go into a physical store and walk down an aisle and find the DVD that may or may not be there, and then go stand in line and pay for it with cash out of their pocket, and then, of course, have late fees that they have to, of course, always pay for? When are people going to realize that's really what they want when it comes to watching movies? See, what if they instead asked, hey, what if this whole Netflix thing actually catches hold? And what new opportunities are arising here? And then all of a sudden they go, wait a minute, we have the brand of Blockbusters, and why don't we just go ahead and do this ourselves? And Netflix wouldn't even be around if they were to change their whole perspective and change their question. One last example for you that I want you to think about, and that is, right now, if you had a choice between having a prison sentence for a year or a prison sentence for life, what do you think is a better mindset? It's actually a prison sentence for life. See, if you're a prison sentence for a year, what do? 364, 363, 362. You're just counting your days of when are you going to get liberated. But instead, if you accept the fact that you're a prisoner for life, then all of a sudden you go, what new opportunities are arising from this? And that's how toilet wine is created. See, I think there's so many toilet wine opportunities out there, but you've got to change your mindset from when are things going to go back to normal to what if it never does go back to normal? And then the third question of what new opportunities are arising because of this?